Welcome to the Charlene Hess Show, living on your heart's edge on TransformationTalkRadio.com. In each episode, Charlene empowers you to shed the layers of your ego that hold you back and to connect more deeply to your true self. You will hear real, raw, and inspiring stories of people just like you who are letting go of fear to follow their heart's calling. Finally, the inspiration you've been waiting for to step out of fear and into your knowing. Get ready to feel empowered to live from your heart and follow that dream inside of you. Discover how to live on your heart's edge. The world is waiting for you to shine your light and share your gift. Now here's your host. Hello, everyone. Welcome. You are listening to the Charlene Hess Show, Living on Your Heart's Edge. And I have the most amazing guest that I'm so excited to share with you today. I met this amazing woman when I was in California going to the Kyle Cease Live event. And I had a wonderful opportunity to meet Silvia and learn a little bit about her and her amazing story and the work that she is doing. And when I started doing this radio show about what does it mean to live on your heart's edge, Silvia is an exact example of what it means to do that, of how she is stepping in and doing the most amazing work to help people learn how to use their inner self-connection, to use all of the adversities that happen in life to heal their self-connection. Silvia has such an amazing story, and I'm so excited to have her on the show today. Before I introduce her, I just want to share a little bit about her. Silvia is the creator of HealYourSelfConnection. It's a movement that's all about self-discovery. And she is the living example of how discovering yourself can really heal your life. Growing up was really hard. She experienced the pain of bullying, emotional abuse, eating disorders, depression, but she kept going and going while taking care of her family even when she was a child. She grew up, became an adult, and was still living as that child and was responsible for the whole world. She kept forgetting about herself until cancer came along. Twice, until she finally started to look at herself and start this inner journey of who am I? Cancer became the greatest teacher in her life. Not long after she became healthy again, the next phase of her evolution came along, the suicide of her little brother. She faced herself and healed herself on an even deeper level. And when you think of it, she has had her part of hardships in life, but guess again, now she's healing herself from a divorce, and she is courageous, she is strong, she is authentic, and she is a woman that really follows her heart. And I am so honored and so privileged to know Silvia, to be able to have been with her on part of this journey, and I cannot wait to introduce her to all of you here. Welcome, Silvia.
Oh, wow, Charlene. What an introduction. Thank you very much for the beautiful words and the invitation. And I'm very glad to be here and very nervous also a little bit. So I will not lie. So yeah, thank you.
Yes, thank you. Thank you so much, Silvia. It was so fun meeting you and getting to spend that time with you in California. Silvia and I got to stay at our wonderful new friend's house, Deb, that we were all meeting for the first time. And we stayed in Venice Beach while going to the Kyle Cease Live event. And so many different experiences happened in your life prior to leading you to this point to coming to Kyle's event. But as we start to share a little bit about your story, I would love to just tell us a little bit more about you. I'd love to hear a little bit more about, your background, about, who you are and where you came from and where you live. Just tell us a little bit about you other than the amazing bio that I just read about you and the life that you had.
Yeah, I live actually in Belgium, so far away, overseas in Europe. At the moment, I'm 33 years young still. And for the rest, I'm still searching for myself a little bit, and I'm transitioning of an accounting to coaching and helping, and I'm still evolving. So that's my background a little bit.
So you first got your cancer diagnosis, you were 26 years old?
Yes, indeed.
Yes. Oh gosh, tell us about that. Tell us about what was your life like before cancer, and what was it like when you got that diagnosis?
My life before cancer was actually very hard. At first, my parents are mental disabled. My brothers also, so I had to be the mom at a very young age when I was little, and I just took over. It was like very hard to grow up because I was just a child and I didn't know what it meant to be an adult, but I did the best that I could. And I started living actually the lives of my parents and of my brothers, but not mine. And that evolved into like really forgetting myself and really like not knowing that I exist as a person, and always go mediate with my parents, or if is there troubles with my brothers, or it was just hell growing up there. But it also gave me the strength, the resilience, the drive to face the challenges that were coming, like cancer. But in a way, when I was 26, then cancer came along. So it was like, oh, okay. I thought I was living a great life, like a great life. I'm always helping everyone else. I'm always like always forgetting myself and all this stuff. And then it's like now I get punished for that. It's like I always give so much, and then I get this as a punish. Like I was just blown away, and I'm only 26 years old. It's like, what do I have to do? I don't know how to handle this, I did the treatments all by my own and going to the doctors because I was used to do everything alone, because my parents, they couldn't understand what was going on, and so it was again me very independent. And then I was like in this state of like a warrior, like they asks of cancer. I mean, they don't ask that, but it's always like you have to be strong, you have to be like positive, you have to be this. So I thought like, I'm just going to do what they say, and I'm just going to fight my way through this. And that's what I did. I just made like an agreement with myself. I'm just going to take whatever it takes to live, because it's like I'm only 26 years old, so I'm just going to do this. But then I was also ambitious because I wanted to make something of my life, because my parents and my brothers, they couldn't. So I felt responsible to like take care of them and earn more money, so we don't growing up with we were poor. It's just baseline. Right. It was difficult, and then all the things. So I wanted to make that good, that we never would suffer again in that way. And I was just working, getting more degrees and all this stuff. But now cancer was there for the first time. Like, you have to stop and see at yourself. But I was like, okay, no, I'm just going to take the treatments, and afterwards I'm going to go harder as before, because this is not going to stop me. That was my thinking before my awakening, or how you would say it, my wake-up call and all the stuff. So when the treatments were done, I was like, okay, I'm done, and I'm going back to school. I'm going to achieve what I was going to achieve. But then the next wake-up call was there.
So here you were 26 years old.
Yeah.
You spent the first 20, let's say you started taking care of your family when you were quite young. So you spend a minimum the first 15 years of your life taking care of your mother, your father who are mentally ill, taking care of your brother who's also mentally ill at a very young age. Mm-hmm. And you were instantly thrown into this place of, I have to take care of my family. And what's interesting that I hear you saying, Silvia, is that, and then at 26 years old, and weren't you just recently engaged or just about to get married when you got your first cancer diagnosis?
No, second time.
Okay. So here you are, you get a cancer diagnosis, and your first thought is I have to beat this cancer so I can keep taking care of my family.
Yeah. Take care of the world still. Yeah.
Wow. That must have felt really heavy.
No, because that was my life at that point. I didn't know any difference.
That was your norm. That was your norm. You were like, okay, here's this cancer, another battle to overcome. Like you said, you struggled with bullying, and you struggled with eating disorder, and now cancer. And
so for me, it was like a flu. Okay, I'm going to take these treatments, and then for me it was like that. So then I go further with life and just. But it was hard to go through those days and all the stuff. But
so you went through all the chemotherapy and you did all of the traditional treatments, and then you were cancer free.
Yeah. At that point, yes. Then afterwards, I could go to work again. So I thought, yes, I can achieve again my goals, and I will go further and all this stuff. But then my aunt got sick. She got diagnosed with terminal brain cancer. And then I was like, again, forgetting myself. It's like, now I have to save her. So I was taking her and fighting this battle with her. And like, it was actually very hard, because I just survived my part, didn't heal myself or looked at it, just like, okay, I've done this, up next. Then my aunt came along, and I tried to help her. And we were losing that battle. And it was like very hard to see that, because I just survived it. And yes, I survived it. And then now seeing the other side, that you can die of it, that was for me just, very hard. And eventually we lost her. And I went in a depression, and that was the first time for me, like, I can't save people. It was my first, like, wake-up call, like, I have to take care of myself. And it was a very hard process to go through, to lose her. And but I learned also many things during that period. And afterwards, when I was done with but like when I was getting better, I decided, like, I'm going to do this breast reconstruction. And afterwards I was like, okay, I'm going to back to my life, and I'm going to live for myself now for the first time. It's like, okay, now it's my time. It's like I can't save anyone else except myself, so I will do this. But then
that was your first, you were saying that was your first wake-up call, was after
little bit, but my ego was still too strong to, like, okay, I said yes, like, okay, I'm going to take care of myself, but the outside world, I was still doing the same thing as before. So I said yes, but I couldn't change it. So I wasn't aware of how I needed to change all the stuff. I was still in my bubble of, like, saving the world.
Right. That's that. I think it's definitely hard to break through those patterns when you see that. We're going to take a quick break. And when we come back, I would like to hear more about how that breakthrough continued. So stay with us. We'll be right back. Welcome back to the Charlene Hess Show, Living on Your Heart's Edge. And here we're talking about Heal Your Self-Connection with Silvia Bladt. Welcome back, Silvia. Tell us more. You were just talking about your wake-up call after your aunt did not survive her cancer.
Yeah, she died. And that was a hard process to go through. And eventually I decided like, okay, I couldn't save her. So it was like, I'm going to start living my life. And I said it, but the actions didn't, weren't matching. So a few months later, I did a checkup again. And there I received the news of that the cancer came back with me. So it was like, it's my time to die now, because I just saw my aunt of it dying, and now they are saying, you're not curable. And I was someone that always was looking up everything, so I know what it meant in the viewing of the medical world. So it was like, shit, it's my time to die now, and it was like, okay, I'm done. It was just
wow.
So I was 29 now. So it's like, okay, I was just blown away. But then, at first you go with the doctors, what they are saying, and just going back in treatments. Then I started to search for examples, like how are other women doing this and all the stuff. But I couldn't find anyone that survived it. Everyone was dying. So it was like, I didn't want to die. It's like, I really decided now for the first time that I'm going to live for myself. And now I didn't get that chance. So it's like, no, I want to live. And so at the beginning, it was a struggle. And I had all these questions from the doctors, and they couldn't answer it. And because they didn't know, they didn't have the cure for my cancer and all the stuff. But inside I felt like there is a way. But I kept fighting and struggling and with the treatments. And I knew also, I saw it with my aunt, because now the thing that I saw with my aunt was now my, how do you say that? I was blessed. I was blessed that I could see that, because of her, I could see like, okay, the hospital is not the way that I want to go, because it's from treatment to treatment to treatment. And then they don't have any treatments anymore. And then you can go home and die. And it was like, no, I don't want that. There has to be another way. It's like, it's not possible. So I was fighting, but still hitting the same wall. Like, it's not possible. The doctor saying no, and again no. And I wanted to be a mom, and no, you can't. I wanted to be a career woman. No, you can't. I wanted to take care of others. No, you can't. So it was like, why do I need to stay to live then? It's like, for me, it doesn't matter anymore, because that was my life at that point. I didn't see any other life for me at that point. So,
and that's when your surrender came.
Yeah, finally. It has to be like this kind of cancer before I finally could like break down this warrior part of me, like will keep fighting, but there I just break down. It was like, just let me die. I don't want to live anymore. Then it's like, I don't care anymore. But it was actually the fighting girl that was dying. It was actually the first time that I really could go into my emotion and feeling and crying and like, why me, and why can't I be a mom, and just cry all my dreams out that I had planned for myself. Right. And now it was just, I had to release that before I could go on. And it was weeks I was crying. And afterwards, when I was done with crying, there was like, it was, okay, I don't know how long I have. But what is it that I'm going to do with the time that I have left? Right. Will I keep like fighting what is, or will I keep grieving the things that I don't get, or what is it that I'm going to do? So I decided there, I'm going to live now. Then I don't have anything else, so it's time to live now, like they say, live now. And that's what I did at that point. I started to do the things that I love, but at first I didn't know what I loved, because I was always taking care of others.
Right.
So I had to discover myself at that point. So it was like, okay, what is it that I like, and what is it that and how am I talking to myself? Which words am I using? And just like with Louise Hay, You Can Heal Your Life. That's a book that I was using, and the mirror work, but not the story about her cancer, because I was done with fighting cancer. It was like, I can't win that battle. So it was like, okay, I'm just going to discover myself and how I work. That was a part that I took from that book. And doing the mirror work, once I had, my hair wasn't growing back at that point, and I had to, start accepting myself, because it was like, okay, I can't change myself, so I have to accept how I am at this point and just love myself the way I am, because I will not, it will not change at this period, so I'm just going to do that. And in those 4 months, like really working on myself and start to learn myself and just going to the things that I love, that also give me life's energy, like gardening and painting again, walking, nature, all those things. Then the checkup came back again. At first I changed actually my focus from fighting and dying and cancer, and I changed that focus to living and what is it that I love to do. That was a huge shift that I did in that period.
Just listening to you, Silvia, totally. It's like when we wrote Silvia's bio and I was sending it over to her for like edit, and I looked at it and I had said in the wording, I said, she beat cancer twice. And she sent it back and she goes, there's this one thing that I'd like to take out, is if we can change the word beats, if we can take that out, because what you did, Silvia, and I just find this so profound and so beautiful, was that you told me that you stopped fighting, that it wasn't about fighting the cancer. And you have this beautiful quote here on surrender. It doesn't mean you're giving up on yourself. It's you making room for new ways.
Yeah.
And when you said that, and when you said, I don't want to say that I fought cancer or that I beat cancer, it was that how you used cancer, how you used it for you, and you stopped focusing on fighting and focused on living. And that was when everything shifted. And then I love the part where you said, where people said, you're out of your mind, because you made a pretty big decision at this point when you went back to the doctor. And people said, you're out of your mind. And you said, yes, I am. Life must be lived from the heart. That is like one of my favorite Silvia quotes. So tell us, you made a pretty big decision after you went back to the doctor after your 4 months, your 4 month checkup.
Yeah, that was my first heart calling. Okay, I was doing all this inner work I was just going back to the doctors, and the checkup came, and then the news came along like, okay, there is nothing there anymore. It's like, what? The one thing that I was chasing and like fighting for and all the stuff, it wasn't possible. And now you're saying like everything is gone. So what wasn't possible is now became possible. So it's like, okay, then it's like, okay, if there's nothing there, then I don't want to do any treatments anymore. I just want to, I saw an opportunity. I saw a possibility. I want to live my life. I want to do all those treatments gone, and I want to live my life. But the doctor said like, no, you can't do that, because then it will come back in other places and all this stuff. But it didn't felt right for me. For me, it was like, okay, no, I want to try, and we'll see later if it's come back. Then we try. But that was a difficult conversation. But eventually I stayed with what I wanted. And so I said, okay, we're going to try. But they said also like, you have to come back in a few months for the checkup. And I wanted to leave the appointment. And it was like, okay, I will come. But inside I didn't want to, but I just said it like I can go home. And then, when I went left the hospital, also, yeah, my friends and family, they were also like, "You're crazy. Why are you doing that?" But for me, it was like, can I try? Because the hospital didn't have any cures, or yeah, I just wanted to try. And yeah, at first it was like, okay, I'm going to prove to all the doctors. And afterwards, yeah, those 4 months went by, and my focus was also changing again. Not like as before I was living again. Now it was like, what if the doctors are right, and all this stuff. And so the fears were coming up and all the stuff. But yeah, it was yeah, difficult time. But then the checkup came back afterwards, and then the news came like, yeah, it's back, it's growing again. So it was like, oh no, shit, Ali, what now? It's like I'm missing something. I know I have something, but I don't know what it is. I saw it was possible in the past. Now it's back, so it's something that I'm still missing. So
Wow.
yeah.
Wow. So you went back for your checkup right after your aunt died. You got another diagnosis and said, the cancer is back. It's now in your lungs and it's incurable. There's nothing we can do for it. And here you were faced with, what am I going to do? Doing all the chemotherapy treatments, going through it all over again, completely losing your hair, it not coming back, knowing that this is this whole process. And then you decided, I've got to do something, which is when you discovered your Louise Hay book. And then when you started working on living and you understood what surrender meant and you started living instead of fighting. And then you were doing great. You went back and they said, it's not there. You went back for another checkup 4 months later and they couldn't find the cancer, but they still wanted you to do the treatments.
Yeah. I did a second time. I did treatments. I did follow them. Okay, yeah. And then afterwards I stopped because I saw a possibility.
Got it. So they wanted you to continue. And at that point was when you said, no more. I'm not doing any more treatments. Forget it. I know there's something inside of me that I can do. I love this story. This is so great. There's so much more to it. We're going to take a quick break. And when we come back, we're going to learn what that thing was inside of you that you tapped into, that here at 29, you got your death sentence. And today you're 33 and still here.
Yes.
So stay with us. We'll be right back. Welcome back to the Charlene Hess Show, Living on Your Heart's Edge. And here I am speaking with Silvia from HealYourSelfConnection. And before we left for break, you were sharing with us, Silvia, about making a huge decision after your next cancer diagnosis. Fill us in, take us back.
Yeah, indeed. So it came back, and there I heard my heart for the first time really loud and clear saying like, don't go back in treatments. You're on the right way. You're still missing something, but keep going. And I did. I said to the doctors, no, I don't come back in treatments. And I left the hospital and I never went back because I knew I had something inside of me, because I saw it a few months back, that I was, by discovering myself and healing myself, that there was a key for me in surrendering and discovering and not fighting. So I left the hospital, but of course my mind was like going crazy with all those fears, because I did know the why, but I didn't know the how. So it was like, okay, I know this call, I can hear this calling, but what now? So it was like discovering step by step and taking all the wrong directions, or just learn different ways. After the medical world, I went to the holistic world to see how they work and all the solutions there. But it also didn't feel right for me at that point, because for me it still felt like I was fighting cancer again. And that's something that I didn't want to do, because with me I saw it wasn't about the fighting, it was about surrendering. So I also left that world. So it was like, there is only one world left, and that was my inner world. For me, there was the key. And that is where I was like, okay, I'm going to put everything in that world. And that's what I did. I started healing the traumas when I was little. And also my next teacher appeared. That was Kyle Cease. He's all about self-connection and meditation and all the stuff. So I'm very grateful that he showed up, because that was the next thing that I needed to, the next step that my heart showed, like, okay, this is where you need to work on. And that's what I did, like really discovering myself, and like that I'm not my thoughts, and just starting this whole journey
and that was when you began your 90-day meditation challenge, and that was how you were able to go inside to find those answers, find that connection.
Meditation, I didn't want to at first. I was still like, no, I can't do meditation. It's too hard. No. So it was first all with the mind, understanding how this ego works, how this mind works, and all this stuff. That was the first thing. And then during that period, I had to work on my fears and inner work and all the stuff. And after 6 months, because the doctor said, like, you don't have to wait 6 months, then it's bad or you're not. So I had to face those 6 months with fears and all the stuff, and like really be with myself and learn about myself. And when that 6 month passed, it was like, but I'm still alive, I'm still good, there's nothing wrong. And I changed my nervous system. Like I had my intention was, I want to live without treatments, no doctors, no checkups. I just want to be depending on myself and no one else outside of me. My belief system was that the self-healing ability of the body can do that. And because I saw it was possible. So that was my belief core, my core belief that it was possible. And my perception of life is that everything is possible. So that was my intention. So after 6 months, that became my reality. That's what I did. That's
wow. So you were given 6 months to live, and here you are. You said, nope, I'm not going to do any treatments. If I only have 6 months to live, I'm going to use those 6 months to live. You worked on healing your own self-connection. Yeah. You went into a 2-hour-a-day daily meditation practice for 90 days.
No, that's afterwards.
Oh, that was afterwards.
Yeah. When I still was like, okay, I'm alive. I want to change. It's like, okay, my health is good now. It's like, now I have to go to work again. But like an accountant, after everything that I went through, it's like, no, that isn't me anymore. I'm still here for something else to do in the world, but I don't know what. That's why I started with this meditation to find my life purpose. It's like, what is it that I'm going to do here? So that's where I start with meditation. And there everything just changed. Like the one opportunity after the other opportunity came, and it was just the next step of my heart. Like, okay, this is the next step. Now you have to do the meditation. Now you have to start with interviewing people. Now you have to start with sharing your story, or start writing English, or just all these little steps to become the woman that I am today. And I'm still like learning, because I still don't know who I am, but I know who I'm not anymore, and all the stuff, like I'm not this cancer girl, or I'm not this career woman, or not this being a mom, or not taking care of others. But it's like, okay, who is it that I'm then? It's like I'm still like uncovering and healing myself further on those areas. So yeah, it's
wow. So you lived, you didn't die in 6 months, and you said, hey, I'm not dead. They only gave me 6 months and I'm not dead. And you're not doing treatment. You're just doing it specifically with healing your self-connection inside yourself.
Yeah.
And that is such an amazing, amazing story. And as far as, and where you're at today, you're still here and you're still thriving.
Yeah. But for the whole story, people can maybe watch on YouTube. I have a 13 sharing the gifts I received from cancer. There, it's more specific, because now with the time it's not possible to tell all my journey. But there you can see like the steps, because it wasn't a decision like in 2 days. It took me like two years before I could really like saying goodbye, and lots of external research and all the stuff. But it's
right. So you have a YouTube channel. Where do people go to find that, Silvia?
On YouTube.
Right. And so what do they type into YouTube?
You just Heal Yourself Connection on YouTube.
Heal Yourself Connection on YouTube. Yeah. And then people can also find more information about you on your website.
Yeah, indeed. Yeah, klopt. Indeed, the same. Also, HealYourSelfConnection.com. It's
is your website.
Yeah, and also on Facebook, you also have the series of sharing the gifts I received from cancer. So it's on different.
It's such a great video series. And I love that you just have that out there to share, to give to people of your story. It's so real and raw and vulnerable. And each video is so incredible, and it draws you in, that you are sharing the gifts of cancer, which a lot of people wouldn't ever think of cancer as a gift. And yet here it is, because for you, it helped you to create this body of work that you now have created through Heal Yourself Connection, which you're now able to help coach people through a similar process of not just surviving and accepting cancer, but in any area of life, because it's all the same thing, right? And so part of the free giveaway that we're doing on the radio today is, if you want to email Silvia tell us.
Oh, that's difficult in English.
Your email is Silvia.
Yeah, Silvia@HealYourSelfConnection.com. Yeah.
Yes. So Silvia at HealYourSelfConnection.com, and it's SILVIA. And you are going to get a free 30-minute coaching session with Silvia, as she's going to share with you some of the process of how to make that inner connection, to heal your self-connection, to use your life's adversities to heal your self-connection. Because here now, after you are healed from cancer and things are going great. And I remember one of the conversations that we had when we were in California, and I've got my mouth hanging, dropped open as you're sharing this amazing story with me. And one of the things that I asked you, I was like, how did you go through all of it? How did you manage? And one of the things that you said to me that was so profound was, my husband, I have this amazing relationship with my loving husband, and he has helped hold me through all of this. And it's my relationship with him that has really helped me as you've been doing this body of work. And knowing that you also had your little brother still, and you were sharing so much of your life with me. It was so amazing. And then when I saw the post that you did that you lost your brother, was so profound. I also lost a brother to suicide, and I know how heart-wrenching that is. And I just was like, how devastating. Here you are regaining your footing. You're creating this amazing body of work with Heal Yourself Connection. And here you're tested with, now you've got to take and apply this whole body of work you created on how you used cancer to heal your self-connection, to now you're faced with this incredible devastation and grief.
Yeah. Yeah, that's true. That was very hard. It was like I thought I had my hardships of life, but then this came along. But yeah, cancer became also my biggest blessing in life. So I really believed also this was a part of the next part of my evolution, like this big identity that I created of being responsible for the world was actually dying with him. And it was like, okay, that's another part that I need to heal now for myself. So I had to apply my rules that I made for healing myself with cancer. So it was practice in a way, actually. So yeah.
Wow. Wow.
Yeah.
It's amazing when we overcome something, as I've had this experience myself, where I overcome something, I've figured out a method, like, wow, I did it and I overcame. And you start sharing with people, this is this really great way that I overcame. And now let me share with you because you can do it too. And you're like riding this awesome wave. And then wham, you get hit with something where here you are becoming the student of your own work again. Yeah. And that's where it's really put to the test of, does it really work? Because here I am, I was over here, way up here going, look, I did this amazing thing and I used this and it works. And you have to like re-enroll yourself in it when you're slapped back down again. We're going to take a quick break, and when we come back, we're going to hear a little bit more about Heal Yourself Connection and how you've used it to continually grow and evolve to not only help yourself, but how you now help other people as well. Thanks so much. We'll be right back. Welcome back to the Charlene Hess Show, Living on Your Heart's Edge. And here we're talking with Silvia Bladt, Heal Yourself Connection. And we've gone through overcoming cancer not only once, but twice, learning to use it to get a deeper connection with yourself, Silvia, to now looking at creating this amazing body of work of how to use your life's adversities to heal yourself, and then being put to the test with your brother's suicide. And what was that like for you? What was it like having to now apply all this body of work that you created to take you through the healing process of the grief and guilt of losing your brother to suicide?
Yeah, that was actually very difficult because with cancer, for the first time, I had to let go of my family and like take care of myself, because otherwise I wasn't here anymore. And now this guilt part showed up, like, okay, you chose the first time for yourself, and now see what happens. So it was really, and I was really in that, I thought like, okay, I have to feel, because feeling is healing. That's what they say. Like, okay, it's like, okay, I need to practice this. So I'm going to dive right in these feelings. But feeling guilt is just such a nasty pain. It's just horrible. But I didn't know the difference in pains. So that was my lesson there, that I had to learn, the difference there. And months went by, but I was slowly also killing myself in a way, because with guilt, it's just very painful. And till one point I was just like fed up with the life that I was living, and just blaming myself, and so much pain, and that I really had something like, okay, I have to change myself. I can't go on like this, so I have to heal this part in me. Something tries to emerge, so it was like, okay, I have to stop, take care of my parents now again, and like arranging all this funeral and all the stuff around it, the legal stuff. And I said, I have to disconnect and like connect with myself. And I went to meditation retreat to go self-connect. And it's actually there that I could find the key of how this guilt game always was working till things before. But so I healed myself there again, like really connecting to myself again. Meditation was the big tool that I used for that. And journaling and just getting to the bottom of this and healing myself through that. And when I came back, I finally could grieve my brother, like really the pain of missing him, and not the guilt pain anymore. And that are two different pains. And that's, that I learned in that process, like the two different pains, and taking pain of others. And there were just also so many lessons in that period. So I'm also grateful for the lesson, that what I've learned. But it was still very hurtful, because with him, when he was born, this part of like being responsible, because my mom couldn't take care of him, was born with me. It was like there I decided, okay, I have to take care of everyone. And now that huge part was dying with him. So it was not I was not only losing a brother, but a mom. And then this identity of taking care of everyone else was also dying with him. So it was a huge release. And I just dived in it, and I faced myself during that period. And then I became better, and I healed myself again, and learned what it meant for me, and just allowed crying, tears. It was needed to be, to let them out. Yeah.
One of the things that you told me, and you actually have this posted on your Instagram too. One of the, which you have an awesome Instagram account. Silvia has really beautiful quotes with great photography. You can go to her Instagram account at HealYourSelfConnection. And when you were going through the process of healing your brother, the realization that your tears wasn't being weak, it was being real. And when you opened yourself up to that level of vulnerability in this whole new way of understanding the different types of pain and working through guilt, and now here you rose above that and were able to completely not only let go of the guilt that you were experiencing specifically around your brother, but around all of the other areas that was showing up in your life. And that is such amazing work for all of you out there listening. Guilt is one of the most toxic. Guilt and shame are the lowest vibrational frequency feelings that you can have. They're absolutely toxic, and they will poison your body, and they will kill you. And how wonderful that you were able to overcome those, Silvia, and you did it so quickly. Your turnaround after your brother's suicide was so beautiful to watch from this end, and so inspiring.
I shared my pain in my Instagram account. There you can follow or read back the evolution that I made during that time. I shared it there with posts and beautiful pictures, because I painted a lot and went in creating, and by that I'm facing myself and writing about my pain, and actually for the first time also sharing it with the world, so they can learn with me like I was learning about myself. So that was beautiful.
It's such a beautiful, beautiful gift when we share our vulnerability. And all of those pictures that are behind you there, you painted all of those, right? That's some of the artwork that you do as well. That's beautiful. Beautiful. And so here you're like, okay, you've done it. You've overcome all of these things. And when I read the post of your next punch in the gut, I was absolutely floored, because I remember that conversation that we had in Venice when you talked to me about how your husband was such a rock and such a pillar. And so share with the listeners, what was the next punch in the stomach that you've completely used to heal your self-connection and overcome again?
Yeah. The next part of my evolution came along, and it's actually I'm in the middle of a divorce actually, and I never saw that coming. My husband was my everything. It's like he went through so many things with me, so it was like I was totally blindsided, and my world really collapsed. So the first week, I just closed myself off, and I just cried for days, and like a baby, and just like went very deep, because I knew what I had to do, and it was like these first layers of. Okay, at first it was guilt, but then it was I saw it directly. It's like, okay, I don't want to do this anymore. So it was like, okay, I'm all the things, and then afterwards it was the crying part, and then afterwards it was also like, okay, this will also become the biggest blessing, like cancer, like with my brother. They all showed me lessons. They all helped me to create a deeper self-connection, and that's what I also believe. So I had to find a new home, a new work, car, all the things, but I'm still here, and I'm doing fine. And okay, there are times that I feel bad, but I'm allowing what I'm feeling each day, and I'm sharing also this divorce evolving out of a divorce videos that you can follow on Facebook. There I'm sharing my daily evolution. So it's like making videos now instead of little quotes. So
nice.
Yeah.
Wow. Thank you so much, Silvia. Most people with even a quarter of the amount of experiences that you went through, I have seen, are angry and bitter, or are wallowing in self-pity, or stuck in a victim mentality, and you're not doing any of that. You are an amazing, resilient woman who just keeps rising above and rising above. And thank you so much for the work that you're doing to heal your self-connection. Thank you so much for showing us how to do it. Thank you for your offer for your free 30-minute coaching call for anybody that wants to reach out. It's Silvia at HealYourSelfConnection.com, SILVIA. And you can go to Transformation Talk Radio to look up Silvia's bio and learn more. You can go to Silvia's website, Heal Your Self Connection. And what an amazing inspiration you are to teach every one of us that we can write our own story, that no matter what happens to us, that we can use it to become closer to ourselves, to be more connected to ourselves, and find that life still can be full of joy.
Yeah. Well, thank you for having me.
Thank you. Thank you so much, Silvia. Okay. Thank you, everyone. You've been listening to the Charlene Hess Show, Living on Your Heart's Edge. And reach out. Please feel free to send an email to Silvia, whether you just want to give a comment or you want to go ahead and get your free 30 minutes of coaching, Silvia at HealYourSelfConnection.com. Thanks so much, everyone. Have a wonderful day. Thank you for listening to the Charlene Hess Show, Living on Your Heart's Edge, with your host, Charlene Hess. Tune in every first and third Friday at noon Pacific on TransformationTalkRadio.com as Charlene empowers you to shed the layers of your ego and to connect to your heart so that you can live your calling and shine your unique divine light. For more information or to listen to past shows, visit CharleneHess.com. That's CharleneHess.com. See you next time.